Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to my channel. It's a time again to wrap up everything I watched in the month and buckle up, it's a lot. Oh, it's still hot. So, for the month of March, I watched a lot of dramas, I think. I'm still in a slump. I think I watched a lot of Thai older dramas again. So, we're gonna start with the dropped, then the completed, and the currently watching, and all the Asian dramas that I've listed. You can find all of them at my drama list link down below. Just click on the current month. You'll see every drama that's listed. So let's get started. Okay. Alrighty. Oh my god. It consumed like, I guess 29. Yeah. So this is my current list. Ooh, got one masterpiece, which is like a surprise. All right. And yeah, I filled all the rows. I have to delete some of them, but I actually filled all of them this month. So yeah, let's get started on the drop list. The first one, Boyfriend on Demand. First, I don't like how the drama looks. It's so like pale and bland and it looks kind of fake. I feel like they should have really contrasted her real life versus like the texture and the vibe when she's on this virtual dating simulation. I also think the office looked too polished, like nobody actually works. And like I will say that this looks and feels like a very Netflix production. And as much as I love pretty boys and fantasy escapism, overly romantic drama, I am not into the multiple love interest for a lead. I don't like it with a female lead having multiple love interest. I don't like it with the male lead having multiple female love interest either. I like a good, strong couple. I love a good love triangle. I even love a love square, but that's, where I draw the line. And I just don't like dating simulations in general as a trope or like a story. I don't know. I cannot. Even in animes, I don't like them. And I know I only watched episode 1 and I have seen good reviews about the drama. It gets better at the later end, but I can't get into Jisoo's acting. I think what bothers me is the tone of her voice. And I feel like if she wants to continue acting and get rid of all the negative criticisms that she gets for her acting, I think she needs to get lessons in voice projection and enunciation because, it really turned me off. I think Blackpink is the last K-pop group that I truly stand. Her voice is really charming when she's singing and talking, and just like her overall screen presence for me is very weak. I mean, the camera language obviously is focused on her because she's the lead. Direction of the drama makes you pay attention to her and you have no other choice. And at some point, I got used to her acting. It wouldn't bother me. I adjusted myself. But as soon as the other actors, the professionally trained ones or who just have better acting techniques and presence on screen, the supporting roles come on screen, you can't help but compare them. It's so obvious that she is the weaker link in the bunch. I really wanted to love this one. I really wanted to love her and wanted to support her, but girl, I cannot. And I think also it's because I generally have a hard time watching dramas with idols in them because I'm so used to seeing them as idols. Except for the ones that who has been in the acting game for a long time and I really haven't seen their idol self, like Im Siwon. The most I've seen him is in a drama. So I'm okay with him. But Jisoo, I've seen so many of her interviews and her just being herself and her singing on stage that I cannot like shake that image. Oh, and I can't comment on the chemistry that much because I only watched episode 1. Okay. So next is The Practical Guide to Love. I really am sad for giving up on this drama. I'm really surprised myself, especially because it's a Hanjimin drama. I even stuck with her for what's that drama that she did with Lee Min-gi? Hold on. Let me find it. Yeah, Behind Your Touch. I even finished this drama, which is a much weirder drama for me. It was so weird that I just, stuck through it. And I did check back and skim through episode 6, and I am so glad I dropped it because I had no idea what was going on. And the way it was going, I just felt like it was a waste of time. Sorry. I feel like the chemistry did not work for me. I like both actors individually, but I don't think it was working at all. I genuinely feel like the actors here are not as charming as they were in their other projects. And as for the male lead, I liked him as a romantic lead and not just the psycho villain character. I really liked him in the drama that he did with Nana, which was this 2020 drama Into the Ring. I dropped it. I didn't finish it, but I really like their chemistry, and he played like a really straight as an arrow, awkward lead, and he was great in it. I just never got into the characters and the story. In the interviews when I was watching her promoting the drama, she said she really related to the female lead's struggles and her views with love and all that, but I feel like it's very dated. Next, Siren's Kiss. This is a Korean remake of the Japanese original, and I really love the Japanese original. I watched it 2 or 3 times, and I've only watched it like recently, like 2 or 3 years ago, and I adored it so much. It's one of my highly rated dramas of all time, and it's very unique on its own. I see that the Korean original is doing its own thing, but I don't know if I'm clicking with it, my brain and my soul, just because it has an original version that I really loved and I'm looking at it with biased eyes, because I feel like the Korean drama is very Korean drama, Like I said, the Japanese original has a unique vibe, unique tone, even with other Japanese dramas, it's very unique. But this feels like a typical Korean drama. I need to be better in describing my feelings about things. I just realized because I was really expecting something special, and I feel like this is very typical and familiar in terms of how it looks and how they really made it feel and look glamorous on screen. I wish that they really toned down all the luxury, like high end. It's very distracting and very penthouse like in execution. And I don't know about Park Min-young's and her portrayal of the character. I know this is a different genre and a very different character than she has been portraying over the years, but I feel like I saw this version of her character, and I think it's just overconsumption, and I just have to like take a break in watching her dramas. And the tone is not consistent at all. The comedic and the light-hearted moments feel so out of place compared to the sharp, tense atmosphere that is very dominant in this drama. I hear it's really doing well in terms of ratings. I just couldn't click with the drama because the Japanese version is very special to me, and I'm not the kind of person that only likes the original, the first adaptation, and hate on the others, because I've watched so many. Meteor Garden and Boys Over Flowers, they're the iteration of the same thing. There's so many versions and adaptations of the drama that I've watched, and I've loved every single one of them individually, but this one's a no for me. I just don't enjoy this type of execution of a suspense drama. Do you understand? I don't know. I don't think I'm making sense either. It's like 11:30 at night. I need to go to bed soon. Dream of Golden Years. I really love the actors, but I don't think I can like their characters, because for the female lead, she is always right. She is all knowing and she can do no wrong, and everybody's jealous of her. That's her character here. And the male lead is just a green flag following the female lead, and I feel like they are too aware of the audiences in this drama. Very obvious in what type of like punching up or like, revenge. It's too obvious in its intention in the characters they created and the situations that they put the characters through. Yeah, and I can't bring myself to care about them when bad things are happening, because it doesn't feel very organic when it happens. It happens for the sake of the female lead having her cool moment and saying those one-liners and, lecturing the other characters. Let me just roll my eyes. And the time jump from the high school years where she got accepted to college, and I get it when you time jump to her adulthood, like doing her business and all that, but it time jumps to just one moment in their college scene where the female lead's ex-boyfriend father was like trying to sabotage her college speech. It's just that during her college years and nothing else. So you just see the intention of putting that scene. The female lead adjusted to being transmigrated into the past or in a parallel universe too quickly for me. Like, girl, I would panic. I would like have a mental breakdown. I will stare at the wall blankly for 10 days. But I really love the love line, the chemistry, the story between the female lead's mother and her new love interest, who's the mayor. I think I've seen them paired off as parents in another drama before. I'm sure several, because they just look so good together, and the mature romance. This is where you can see the difference in the experience, because their roles are also very intentionally crafted. Like, it's so obvious what they're trying to do with those characters, but the veteran actors just bring the natural chemistry and grounded energy to the characters, so it doesn't bother you that much compared to the younger leads. Oh, and I also love that they introduce the background of the female lead in her previous life, and you get a better understanding of her characters, because most transmigration dramas don't do that. My complaint with My Page in the 90s don't give a lot of character background on the person that transmigrated to that world. Yeah, that is one thing I appreciated about the drama, how much background story they give to the female lead character. Moving on to the completed list. Fai Luang. I wish I understood what the hell was going on, like I said last time they've been just raving about the dialogue that the male lead says to the female lead. There's a line that I really love. There, I do not want to hurt her. I love her. I want to see that scene where he says that to her. But there's no fucking way I would know where that point of the drama is, because I don't understand Thai. But also, I think it's just the genre, but it happens all the time when the male lead forces himself to the female lead to sleep with him. Ooh. I mean, this wasn't even the worst, like forcing the female lead to sleep with a male lead scene I've ever seen in a slap kiss romance. But for this drama, I just wish it didn't happen. I guess I was really attached to this couple for some reason, even though it's just pure visuals. And I wish that the male lead was made to earn the forgiveness of the female lead. I want him to grovel, like get on your knees, like kiss her feet. I don't give a fuck. You did some horrible things to her. And even though the female lead was kind of annoying, but she was not frustrating. That was the key. But they were so good looking. Oh my god, this photo right here doesn't give them any justice. The male lead was such a bully, but the female lead also stood her ground. That's why I didn't feel like she was a weak character like in most slap kiss romances. I'm seriously considering studying Thai just for this. Like, I think I need to watch like 20 more dramas till I can like pick up a couple of Thai words and phrases. Like how I can watch a Korean drama without subtitles because I actually can understand a little bit. It's still an 8 out of 10 despite all the trouble that I went through to watch this drama. Cats on the Roof. Well, the drama title that I first discovered, it was Attic Cat. I really like the female lead. I don't know much about her. This is my first drama of her. Seems like she was pretty popular, and unfortunately she experienced the bad side of the entertainment industry, which made her take her own life. But she is the reason to watch the drama. She just shines. Her bubbly energy. Ugh. As for the male lead, he was quite the heartthrob. This was the beginning of his career rise. He was very good looking and matched the female lead's energy well with that childish charm. As for the second leads, I really did not care. They kind of reminded me of the second leads in Sassy Girl Chunyang. Let me see if I can bring up that. Yes, they just remind me of the second leads in this drama, which, made around the same year. But the second male lead here was not that creepy here. But I felt kind of tired of the same thing repeated over and over again. The male lead lying to the female lead for choosing the second female lead over the female lead, and then the female lead kicking him out, and then the male lead just does a little aegyo and then she forgives him and lets him move back in, and the same thing happens over and over again. I usually don't like cohabitation in my dramas. I need my personal space. I liked that they moved on with their life and met again as adults, more mature, becoming better people. And it was a very satisfying ending. Generation to generation. I really liked this drama. It felt very fresh for me. I think it's because they're fairly new actors. I am familiar with them and I have seen their works, but it wasn't at a point where I overconsumed their work. And they did really well, given the script and the direction that they were given. And I am really looking forward to their future projects. I feel like they would have performed better if they had better direction from the director instead of focusing too much on the aesthetics of it all. Which is one of the points that bothered me because there are a lot of aesthetically pleasing, beautifully designed scenes and shots in this drama, and the close-ups were great, and it's so obvious that they put a lot of effort in those scenes, but it's so obvious that they chose to focus their energy on in some scenes and not the others, so you can see that they did not exert the same effort. Which makes it a very odd experience to look at it on screen. There's a very obvious quality difference and it lacked visual consistency. I feel like they could have done with less characters mentioned because it became too much. I know people say that it's a wuxia, they're supposed to have many characters, but at the end, some people are just mentioned in passing, and I couldn't remember their names and place them in the story and what kind of roles that they played in the whole conspiracy. I used my brain a little bit and actually paid attention in this drama, but it took a while, okay? I love the chemistry. They looked good together. And as much as I love older actors and they hold a special place in my heart. I know now, I get why newer and younger actors are needed in this type of genre. I used to reject that idea so hard, and I really wouldn't watch new faces in idol dramas because, I'm stubborn like that, and it takes me a while to warm up to new actors. But I get it now. I so get it. I love that the female lead kept saying goodbye to the male lead and kept saying that they would never meet again and hope that they never cross paths ever again. But the male lead seemed to find ways to go on missions and quests with her and just stick by her side all the time. And I love how smart the female lead is. She's not oblivious to the male lead's schemes, and she senses that the male lead is not who he says he is and is obviously hiding something, but wouldn't dig deeper because they're not that close in the beginning yet. How much the female lead pieces things together on her own, it felt really refreshing to me. And the fact that she isn't constantly manipulated by the male lead. Even though he uses her, it annoyed me that the final confrontation could have been more grand because we have been building up to this final moment. And I hate that the confrontation with the main villain was done in like a hall. It was a big hall, but nobody else was present to confront and like see the big bad villain in action and see his true face. Like everybody was outside fighting in the open together, working their way up. I'm hoping that everybody would witness the downfall. I also hate the fact that they insinuated that the male lead died when the female lead was burying a jar. They tried to imply that it was the ashes of the male lead because that's what he asked on his. It ended up not being true. It ended up being just wine. Alcohol, yes. Like, dude, it's the last episode. You don't have to do this. It's gonna end, and in a few moments, you're gonna have to reveal that the male lead is alive. He's actually fine. He's healthy. Like, there's no next episode to cut to drag that tension. Ugh, so annoying. It just was so distasteful. Like, you can see the intention, right? And why they put that scene. And I really wouldn't have minded if the male lead actually died and the female lead living her life according to how she wants to live it, honoring her aunt and the male lead. That would not have been a bad ending. The leads definitely carry the show. So it's 8 out of 10. Undercover Miss Hong. It had a good, clean ending, and I'm not mad at it, even with the putting on an act to trick the villains. It was a very easy and lazy writing to resolve the whole thing, but I am not super mad at it. I love the supporting characters more than the female lead. I feel like they made the drama come to life. I felt like they were more nuanced and the actors themselves put on a much more stronger performances compared to the female lead. And maybe it's also because of the writing. The female lead has to be straightforward and be righteous compared to the other supporting characters. And I am glad that there was not any actual romance, that they're opening up for a possibility for a season 2. Because you're not sure if the other romantic leads would come back to do the show since it is a big female lead drama. And I wouldn't mind a second season either. It was very interesting. I just love the interaction between the female lead and her boss. And they're trying to have this secret conversation about their whole discovery and the progress of their undercover investigation. Pursuit of Jade. Oh my god. I am going to say it. I love it more than Blossom. Fight me. I think this is the most easy on the eyes Chinese idol romance drama that I've watched in a long time in terms of production quality. It's very consistent in terms of sets and the gaps between the costume of the main cast versus the supporting cast felt equal. I'm gonna say I had the same problem with Blossom with the overly done romantic scenes. There were some, but not as many as I felt like in Blossom. And the slow mo scenes. One of the things I love everything about this director, except he likes to do slow mo scenes a lot. A lot, a lot, a lot. Some I enjoy, sometimes a few, it's like, why? It's not necessary. It's just nitpicking because I can just relax watching this drama, just enjoy it, but then that one slow mo scene just takes me out and it just annoys me. I think that the actors fit the roles really well. They casted them well, and I think that's true for Blossom too. And they have great chemistry together. I don't know if China does chemistry tests. I don't think they do because the actors, especially the A-listers, jump from one project to another and they're so freaking busy. And some have failed in their chemistry, the big actors. But it's really well done here. Some of the scenes I found like ridiculous, like when the male lead was going into battle and he had like two long ass feathers like coming out of his head. That's gonna be such a distraction when you go into battle. I didn't mind it so much when he came back after a victorious win and had those feathers. It didn't bother me that much then, but when he was going into battle, I don't know. I just found it so funny. I laughed out loud so much. I'm like thinking about it now, it's still so funny. He looked good though, but just thinking about that costume in that context, it reminds me of the scene in Love Like the Galaxy where the female lead gave him like a cape with all the feathers coming out. But that scene was intentional. It was made to be funny because you hear the side comments of the other generals saying like, why is he wearing chicken feathers to the battlefield? Like that is so impractical, that whatever feather that they put like coming out. But another thing I'm gonna say about this drama is that they have beautiful costumes. The female lead's like armor, her war costume, oh my god, it was so beautiful with all those red. And oh my god, they looked so good in this drama. It's nothing different, like the style and the era of costume that they put on the leads and the supporting characters, but they put so much effort. Even when the female lead, you can see here, even in her like regular butcher clothes, see that blue color? See that blue? And see all those hair decorations? But it's not overdone. The most romantic line in this drama, I will butcher pigs to feed you, to support you. Oh my god. Yes, she is an independent woman, the head of the household. I know some people don't like the progression of her character, where she feels like very insecure that the male lead is actually a marquis. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. Correct me. I watched Bridgerton, but I forget how they pronounce stuff. And felt like her attitude at that time, her personality felt contradictory. Her actual character was, but I disagree. When she first met the male lead, she was a different person. When she saw his good looking face, she closed her legs, She was man spreading, but she closed her legs and, did that. Throughout the drama, I felt like she was never ashamed of what she did for a living. And in her small little town, she was not ashamed. And even when dumping the ex-fiance, she was fine with it because in her eyes, she knows he is a fucking loser. But the male lead is different. He is actually somebody of high rank and status. I don't know how to explain it, but it actually made sense to me. When it comes to the male lead, she has a very different view of herself and she's also looking at the perspective from the male lead standing that people will not be okay, will criticize him and make fun of him for marrying a butcher. Anyways, I just love this drama so fucking much. And I like that they did not do the, hey, let's put on an act and, we'll reveal it later that we actually knew what the villains were planning. They did not do that. They did the double agent thing, which is like a much smarter version of the pretending to be fooled by the villains. Oh, I love it. And I really love the main villain's story. They put so much layers on him. I actually felt really bad for him. And the actual villain in this story is the previous emperor. Ugh, that asshole. Ugh, ruining everybody's lives, even when he's dead. Why can't he just leave people alone? But there's no redeeming him because even though he is not the cause of all the misfortune, he deliberately sent an order to kill the female lead and her family just to keep things in order. I love this drama, so it's a 10 out of 10 for me. 10 out of 10. I will rewatch it again. Had I not seen The Sun, part 1 and part 2, this broke me. I was so confused for the majority of part 1, but later it made so much sense. I love the leads together in the flashback. They were such good actors. Oh my freaking god. Initially, I shipped the male lead and the first female actress that we saw paired with him on screen, Chang-Chi. Oh, and she's a newbie too. Oh my god. Oh my god. She was so pretty, and like the first scene that they had together where they're in prison in the visitation room and that blind slowly went up, and then the first time he seen her and the first time she saw him. That scene will be the death of me, my god. So I actually shipped them the most. And the acting was so great. And even though I love Alice, Alice is her. She is Alice. Say hi, everybody. I loved her from the Constellation Women series, Leo. This is the first time I've seen her in 2015, more than 10 years ago. I loved her here, and I've seen her in other projects, and she's great. She's one of the top actresses in Taiwan. I don't think she had that much chemistry with a male lead. I think they were looking for someone that looked really similar to the female lead Moon Lee, but also with the acting chops. That's why I think that's how they ended up casting Alice. And the ending was depressing as fuck. I expected the male lead to die, but the female lead just went into the ocean after reading the male lead's letter. And I'm like, do you not have anything to live for, like your parents? But how about your parents? I cannot. Next, Mixed. I think that's how you pronounce it. This is another YouTube edit find. If you know that Lana Del Rey song and the edit of one of the male leads in this drama. And this is my first French show. Yay! I am expanding my horizons. And I really loved it. The storylines were very well balanced. I loved each and every characters, and I loved every couple pairing. The chemistry was great. I want the next season, and I am wondering why it's not getting one. From my recollection, it has been a hit, especially with the virality it got. And this is a 2021 show, like where the time is ticking. And I love the background music that they chose. It really adds on to the chaotic energy of the whole show. Prong Ni Gor Rak Tur. English title is Tomorrow I'll Still Love You, which is very, very romantic. Hong and Aom, I think that's how you pronounce her name. Again, I love them individually and I love them together. And I think this is their only project together, which is very sad because they had really good, chemistry together. And it's one of those slap kiss romance that I loved. The male lead was very frustrating, and I actually understand the female lead more. Like, what do you mean we can work this out? Your sister just murdered my sister because she's delusional. She's crazy. And the ending was crazy too. Everybody died in the female lead's sister's side, like the male lead's scumbag husband, her child, and her. Like, they all died. You can see in the drama that they really tried not being together, but they're just so meant to be. And I am glad that it's kind of sort of a happy ending. I wish they spared the child. You know, that child did not deserve to die. What did she do wrong? Songrao Nirundon. Okay, what's the English title? The Two of Us for Eternity. We Two Forever. Okay, The Two of Us for Eternity. I love these actors individually. I don't think they're each other's best chemistry. I'm a Ken and Jenny fan, and for Aum, I think it's her and Tik together best chemistry ever existed on screen. But them together, still good. Chef's kiss. I like that the male lead and the female lead is not your typical leads of this type of like slap kiss romance. Like, this is not actually a slap kiss romance show. The premise is so slap kiss, but how they went with the whole story is not slap kiss. Like, the male lead did not seek revenge with the female lead when he realized that she is a family member that was in the accident that killed his late fiance. And the female lead also realized her feelings, even though she was engaged with the male lead's best friend, you know. And the male lead best friend was really kind enough to break it off and not be crazy. And also, the female lead also told him the truth about her brain tumor and that it's too late. Because usually the female lead will push the male lead away and be mean to him and cause this whole misunderstanding. I'm glad that they did not do that. And I love the supportive friends that the both leads have. They have the usual crazy second female lead here, but she doesn't have that much screen time or effect or have that much influence in the lead's relationship. She tries, but she fails all the time. And the ending was, what the fuck? I think this is one of the reasons why it has a lower rating than most of their dramas, because they both die, unfortunately. He gets shot by their enemy and he falls and drifts in the ocean. And the female lead, ignoring her treatment, goes looking for him. That's how they both die. Okay, and that's a 7 out of 10 for me. In Your Radiant Season. This is my current favorite airing, even though there's one more episode left to go. I did not expect to like it this much. I think the female lead's pretty, but she's never worked for me as a female lead. The last time I liked her was Weightlifting Fairy Kim Bok-ju. I think that's the title. And Dr. Romantic, Master Kim, I think, where she's like part of an ensemble cast. And that goes the same for our male lead. And for some reason, I thought their chemistry would not work. Like, they would not look good together. But I was proved wrong. They look so good together. The chemistry is there. I don't think it's from like a visual point of view. The fact that the characters feel like they're soulmates and that they're so meant for each other is what makes this drama work. And I don't really get why the twist or the barrier of his blocked memory is the fact that the female lead's late boyfriend was cheating on the female lead. That is not personal to him. And I still don't know why, even at episode 11, why that hinders his memory coming back so much. I also like the middle sister's romance. Her voice like bothers me a little bit, the tone of her acting, but I feel like it works so well with her character. And I love the dynamic between her and her love interest. It's the same as the leads, but kind of reverse in gender. I also love the senior couple pairing, and the least I like would be the younger sister's love line, but that's like nitpicking if I'm gonna pick my favorite in order. I always love the groomy, glumpy lead with the sunshine, bright lead. Oh, I just love that dynamic so much. And I love how the male lead impacted the lives of the people that he interacts with, and the scene where they just waited for him by the window at the coffee shop. So cute. The grandpa, the female lead, the kid in the neighborhood, and Tonje, the dog, the golden retriever. Oh my god. Super cute. For me currently, this is Sorry. It's a 9 out of 10. Can't wait for the last episode, but also sad that it's ending. You Are My Faithful Love. I am kind of in awe that this is the best they could do with the actors and the story that they're given with. I know this is like lower budget drama, but this is so bland. I enjoy the leads together and they're great actors. We have seen them shine in lower budget dramas and in supporting roles with really small screen time and they just steal the show. But as leads, they're very charming, but I think this is a writing and directing problem and not them. The actors definitely have chemistry together, but how the drama is written and how it's directed doesn't bring this drama to its full potential. And I am so sad of how it turned out, really. That's why it's a 6 out of 10 for me. But I'll watch till the end because it's, Miles. My comfort show, Please Take Care of My Refrigerator Season 2. Still my favorite show. I'm glad to see the socially awkward chef Chang Rook back in one of the latest episodes. The show is just so fun. The chefs are so unserious except when they're cooking. I really enjoy this current group of chefs and their chemistry together. I really like it when the ingredients in the fridge are very scarce and the chefs are really pushed to their limits and think outside the box and just utilize the limited ingredients they have in the fridge. Next. My God. I rewatched season 1 and 2 and then continuously season 3 while season 3 was airing. I am still on my drama slump, okay? Even though with a list of completed dramas, I still feel like I'm on a drama slump because I'm not watching that much current dramas, especially Korean dramas. And I think this is my 4th watch of the previous 2 seasons, and I'm surprised by how much I understand as an Annie only girl, how much knowledge I gain in rewatches and how much I just understand this whole world now. Anyways, it's over and I'm dying for the next season to come out. I hope the world doesn't end before then because I really need to see this through. I completed the Hisufit. I really like the mystery and investigation of the heroine's mother's disappearance. I love the lore and the gossip of the small town. It was so juicy and really hooked me to this book. I also liked the romance, but it feels so isolated with the whole story, which was the investigation of the heroine's mother's disappearance part. It was non-existent in the second half, and I wish there was more balance. Like, I wish the male lead would, investigate the heroine's mother with her, or at least share that conversation with him. The ending of the main culprits was very unsatisfying, but very realistic. Wild Love. Well, I think I want my time back and I want my money back. Yeah, and I don't think I'll ever read from this author ever again. This reminds me of the stuff that I used to read in my Wattpad reading days. But the middle school authors know better. Like, they knew what they were doing, but not this author with this book. Because I love single parents, especially single dad, older, and the bright sunshine that the female lead brings. This doesn't work for me. The spicy scenes were very confusing. I do not want paint all over my body. The characters were fine, I guess, but their love story was eh. Next, A Lady by Midnight by Tessa Dare. I think I've reached my limit with these book series. I listened to the audiobook version, and I think I've had my fill of Spindle Cove and that whole world. And I definitely shouldn't have read the reviews for this book because I saw the spoilers. I think I got where this book was going, but it confirmed my suspicions. I feel like this story was less organic than the first 2 I listened to. into. I was just not into the dynamic of the couple. Hoppers. This is my first actually modern animations that I've seen in a while. I think the last one was either Zoolander's 1. So since this is my first animation in a while, the modern feeling of the dialogue threw me off. And in the beginning, I almost fell asleep, mostly because I only slept 3 hours the day before. But the second half was so fun. It was so entertaining. Not all characters were likable, especially the main lead. She was very annoying, in fact, but it wasn't overdone and she wasn't frustrating. Even the mayor was annoying, but in like my perspective, he's just someone that does whatever he's being elected to do. This really broke me for some reason. I'm sure it was because I was on my period. I don't know, non-stop tears by the end. It was such an amazing experience watching this with my friends. One of them really liked it. The one that asked to watch this really loved it. The other friend didn't really get it. I would watch this again if it comes out on streaming platforms. It was so great. Ooh, and I watched a bunch of Hollywood movies. 2 Weeks Notice, Four Weddings and a Funeral, and Notting Hill. It's just rom-coms that I put on rotation every time I feel bored and I need something to watch, but I'm sick of Asian dramas. But I still want a rom-com and I really want a good love story. My favorite of them all is Notting Hill, and close second is 2 Weeks Notice. I think Sandra Bullock is just a comedic genius. Four Weddings is very good, but I think it's my least favorite out of the 3 that I watched. And I also watched a couple of movies with my dad, because that's what we do. 48 Hours, another 48 Hours. It's just a great series. I don't know if there is a third one. I really loved the first one. The second one, still a pretty good sequel. I really loved. And from the villains of 48 Hours, we watched The Warriors because they starred in this too. I found this film really interesting. I heard there's a cult following for this movie. It wasn't my vibe really, but it was still a good experience. It was fun. I don't think I'll ever rewatch it, but it was fun. I watched so many movies, very old Hollywood classics, but I haven't watched The King and I nor The Seven Brides for Seven Brothers ever, and this was my first watch, and oh my god, it was so good. It was so good. I can't believe I never watched this with my family ever, because it's one of the highly rated musicals of all time. And I think Seven Brides for Seven Brothers is my dad's second favorite movie, the first one being Wizard of Oz. Such a great experience. It was so fun. I love The King and I love Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, but I wish the male lead and the female lead had more interactions here in the Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. And yeah, that's it. That's all. I think I started at like 11:30-ish and it's now 12:32. And I found my daily rip-off calendar, and for April, watch your damn back and have no mercy. I need to take a shower, remove my makeup, and finally go to bed. Alright, that's it. Goodbye, everybody.